Alright, so I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so now's as good a time as ever. For those who don't know about roleplay Twitter, it's a friggin' mess. It's just a complete clusterfuck. I used to be in the community for a while, and trust me, I've seen some shit behind these glasses. But today we're only going to talk about a specific roleplayer, and if you guys want me to, I'll talk about my experiences in that community. For now, let's go into the subject of today's video, a Octavia account known under the name TheOwlPrincess. That's just what I'm going to call them, as I'm not going to be saying Octavia, it just sounds stupid. And by the way, they are no longer known as the TheOwlPrincess, I'll get into that way later, but I'm just going to call them the TheOwlPrincess or TOP interchangeably. So yeah, you can see by the account here that they've been around since February of this year. And first off, they are 21 according to their date of birth. And second off, notice the words quote-unquote heat event there. I thought I was the only one who made that kind of dumbass decision, but dear god, it's even worse. So, I was in a server with this V account, keyword being was, until they got banned. Why did they get banned? Well, I'll explain later. Oh, and I should probably note this should not be used as an incentive to harass somebody. I just want to rant and just warn people about this individual. So, what does the TheOwlPrincess do? Well, they roleplay as an aged up, quote-unquote, Octavia. Sometimes they even do rude shit with said Octavia, and when they were confronted about it, at one point they tried to excuse it by saying that they were not aging her up to loot her, they were looting her because she was aged up, which is pretty fucking piss poor excuse to be doing that. Not only that, it's kind of backwards. You don't just do something because of this one thing, you usually do something to do something else. You usually rob a bank so you have enough money to flee the country. You usually buy a soda to drink it later. So in this case, you age up a character to end up looting her. And you did just change a number, and you'll understand why I say that later. You did just change a number, TheOwlPrincess. That's all you did. That still doesn't make Via an adult, you're just saying she is so you can get away with all this. So, here's the screenshot that I am basing this off of. Quote, "Follow me in being super dramatic assholes about the whole thing. I have said several times that I don't age up the character to do lewd, and most roleplays I do aren't lewd. I just do lewd because the character is aged up. I don't change a number, I just make her an adult." Okay, so, do you have proof that a lot of the things you do aren't lewd? Because I've seen you do a lot of lewd shit before, okay? Not only that, considering your stance on lollies, which we'll get into later, I wouldn't be surprised if everything you did was lewd, and you're just using the aging up excuse as a way of escaping the criticism you rightfully deserve. They also do these things on Discord, as I mentioned before, and there is a character bio that they left in a server I was formerly in, but I am not going to show you that because I'm not trying to traumatize you, and I'm not trying to make myself throw up. So, I will at least give you their Discord so you can end up rating it later. Go ahead. So yeah, many people have called them out on the fact that they aged up Octavia to loot her, and this was their response. Quote, "But me aging up Octavia with zero fucking knowledge of what's actually going to happen and making her a mature adult is pedo activity?" Well, one, you not knowing is bullshit, considering that the drama surrounding looting Octavia has been around since episode 2's release almost a goddamn year ago. And two, yes, it's technically pedo activity, as you have to have full knowledge that the character is underage if you have to age them up to not look bad. Another thing about them, since we're gonna distance ourselves from this area for now, is how they take criticism. When they were initially called out for their behavior, this was the thread they made about it. Quote, "I don't block people because I disagree with them. I block them when they start being an irrational asshole and spreading shit about me. Literally, those tweets aren't even informative. They're made to be the most effective at getting people to block me because they don't like me. They show the worst possible evidence they can find from any time frame and nothing else at all, then paraphrase the conversations in a way that's just straight up lying. And then they've shown my fucking Discord with that tweet after saying not to harass me while knowing full fucking well what they're doing. This is why I fucking hate this fandom. It runs like the American political system and media around it, and that's fucking bad. Have your opinions and interact with who you want to interact with, but don't go dictating what other people do. This is why I've had so much time thinking about just fucking deactivating and leaving, because this fandom is nothing but toxicity and bullshit that I hate so much. The only reason I haven't is because they'll get their fucking victory screech and think they hurt a bad guy. when all they really did is make someone leave the fandom because they continue to cycle it into being worse and worse. It's like American football. If we were all around each other, we'd be shooting each other in the streets over petty arguments. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
First off, this thread is...
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin. This is serious. I know. This really is the world's smallest violin. See?
It's not intended to get people to block you, or the thread that I made and other people are making anyways. It's intended to inform people about what you're doing and to help them stay the hell away. Secondly, it's not the worst possible evidence as you're claiming. They're your own words, plain and simple. It isn't paraphrasing or lying, it is word for word what you have said, motherfucker. That's why we show the screenshots. It's word for word. Thirdly, why the hell are you trying to make this into a political thing? In no way does this whole thing run like the American political system, okay? The American political system is basically just, here's two fucking idiots, vote for one to help lead our country and then start hating him a week later. This is more, here's one fucking idiot doing some fucked up shit in the fandom, here's why he isn't a good person, stay away. Okay? In no way is that like the American political system. On a fourth note, if you really want to deactivate, then why the hell not? Go ahead, do yourself and everyone else on Twitter a favor. You don't want to hear the criticism you deserve? Deactivate. We don't want to see you? Deactivate. That way you can move on with your life and we can move on with ours. We both benefit from it all. And finally, you're the one that escalated us. Or not escalated us, but escalated this. You did. Not us. You chose to get salty and chose to whine and gave us more ammo to use. It's your own fault. And here's a bonus statement. Have you ever fucking played American football? Because it's not us shooting each other in the streets. It's more like us passing a ball around while pissing off drunk stepdads at sports bars. Alright? But oh no, it gets worse. Much, much worse. See, I originally had a thread calling out the TheOwlPrincess up on my Twitter, except someone, not gonna name any names, decided to start bitching at me about how I should take it down, and they ended up revealing that they were still friends with them. What? How in the hell could you be friends with someone that fucking controversial? You know what they're under fire for and what they did, so why the hell are you bitching at me about it, about calling them out? Note that this is someone who ran a server where they had TheOwlPrincess as an admin. Granted, they later lost that admin, and they were banned for causing drama and just overall being a stuck-up prick. However, now this person is retracting their statement and saying they're all friends? Fuck off with that shit, okay? Now, here's the thread containing the full statement about aging up. Know how they're trying to backpedal here and act like the better person? Here's the thread. Quote, "Fuck off, kid. I have not one time told any of my followers to do anything and people are calling me manipulative. I have not told anyone not to follow anyone and I tried encouraging friends to stay friends with the people shitting on me. You guys are telling people not to follow me and being super dramatic assholes about the whole thing. I said several times that I don't age up the character to do lewd and most roleplays I do aren't lewd. I do lewd because the character is aged up." So, they're trying to backpedal by saying, oh, I tried encouraging people to remain friends with the people shitting on me. I mean, do you have a receipt? Someone who can verify that? Maybe all of the fucking above? No? Then sit the fuck down. And you can tell that they are just really just trying to backpedal and really trying with their arguments. Because all they're saying to this person is, fuck off, kid. Like, seriously, that's a clearly 18 plus account and you're trying to say fuck off, kid. Like, motherfucker, are you blind? Are you an idiot? Are you brain dead? Do you have brain damage? Is something going on in that head of yours? I really want to know. And here is a statement that they made towards another role player. Quote, "I'm done arguing, just fuck you, really just fuck you," after they got called out by a user called Stone Cold. And dear God, I know Stone Cold. And here's another statement they made. Quote, "They deserve human rights because they're humans, you fucking Hitler wannabe." Because Stone Cold responded to a statement they made about pedophiles and rapists having human rights. Okay, you know what? As much as I hate Stone Cold with every fiber of my being, I gotta give them some credit here. They are spitting some facts, alright? They are spitting a lot of facts, and you can just see how TheOwlPrincess has just realized calling Hitler wannabes is not working because they literally state that they're done arguing before resorting to a last fuck you. Dear God, I know exactly who you'd be great friends with. And now, we get into the final fucking a Discord conversation I had with them a couple of months back, where they basically tried to argue with me about lolicon. I'm not even joking. So let's go ahead and get into this. Quote, I have an SFW lolly Verosica that someone sent in a server and an NSFW one. The SFW one is just a young Verosica in a spring break dress. The NSFW one is cursed and illegal. Well, not actually. Ma'am, you are going to jail. The law only protects against cartoons and drawings of real humans, minors, and pictures of minors. Fake characters are legal. Not saying lollies are good, but they aren't illegal. And I pointed out the Department of Justice, and I pointed out how people have gotten arrested for that content, and they said, quote, actual identifiable minor. This means a real minor. They don't have to be alive, but they have to have existed at some point. Are you really about to debate with me on this? I'm just saying it's not illegal. Anybody I try to say it to either already thinks that or ignores everything I say and calls me a pedophile. Well, I mean, you are getting off to depictions of children, fictional or not, you're basically a pedophile. Because whether or not it's fiction, it has the look of a child, the proportions of a child, go to church or jail. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Well, if it's a fictional in a drawing of a fake character, it isn't a child, it's a drawing. There's literally different things for being attracted to drawings, which is basically about the entire furry fandom. Say what you will about furries, they're not into kids. Scedophilia or something like that. Drawings. Or animals. I'm not into kids or animals. I'm the same as anyone, except I can actually separate dark fiction from reality. Ah, the classic you can't separate fiction from reality. I didn't say that. I said I can separate fiction from reality. It's along those same lines, but it encourages real pedophiles. The kid that shot the high school because they played Call of Duty. I hate how people are blaming mass shootings on video games. Me too. I also hate how people are blaming porn artists for children getting raped and murdered and molested and abused. Well, it's not the fault of the artists unless they're the one raping, murdering, abusing, or molesting children. Like, to me, I don't even care if they actually are a pedo, as long as they never even do anything slightly to a kid. Like, I see a kid and a drawing as very different things. Oh my god. This is making me sick. And I still have like 4 more screenshots to get through. Like, being a pedo is bad, but I don't mind if a kid gets hurt. And I said, to me, if they're a pedo and they have a platform, then they shouldn't have a platform because that gives them access to kids. And they responded with, and I don't even think lolly stuff really is pedo stuff, but pedos can use lolly stuff. Like, lollies don't accept pedos, they also never argue with minors. Some sick assholes do, but that isn't the whole fandom there. It's like a few people here and there. It's like saying furry equals zoophile. Furry doesn't equal zoophile, basically assuming the worst of people sucks because that's saying people racist, homophobic, stupid, transphobic, and genocidal. But lolly does equal child. Drawing of a fictional child that never existed and is usually a mythical species entirely usually equals like 50-50. It doesn't matter if they never existed, regardless of species, it's still a child. How can somebody be a pedophile by looking at a drawing of something? Because they're getting off to someone clearly meant to be a child. And also, if it's just a drawing, then answer me this. Why do sites like Reddit and Discord take a stance against these quote-unquote drawings? Like, pedophile is basically being attracted to prepubescent children, and is literally biologically impossible. It's supposed to be impossible to be attracted to them, and pedophilia is usually an obsession over real children. Being attracted to a drawing of something similar to that is literally nowhere near that level. Also, Reddit and Discord are wanting to be politically correct, that's like every company on Earth. If they're really trying to be politically correct, then why are they not banning every non-politically correct subreddit and server out there? Because they want to have a free community to speak on there about whatever they want, but the company doesn't actually endorse any of them. Really, you cannot have a free space and a politically correct space, because those two aren't comparable. Reddit's definitely more chill and lets people do what they want, but that doesn't mean the company has to be supporting what's being said in their chats, and people being rightfully disgusted by porn of children, fictional or not, does not mean they're trying to be politically correct. It means they're normal fucking human beings who don't do the mental gymnastics necessary to make the argument you're making. Fictional children in a drawing isn't anything even remotely slightly close to a real child in any slight faction. Let me repeat, the proportions, the way they act, their whole design is meant to be as similar to a real child as possible, and you're trying to tell me that isn't the case. It isn't mental gymnastics, it's facts. And no, it's not facts, it's blatant fucking retardation. The proportions don't fucking matter. If it isn't a real human, they aren't an actual child. Being attracted to them in any way isn't an unnatural crime against God as actually being attracted to a child. I'm not saying being a pedophile is okay, I'm just saying that pedophiles and lollies are different entirely. It's not facts, it's fucking stupid. Even if it were true that being attracted to lollies isn't bad, people have gotten arrested for owning lolicon. If it were okay, everyone would be on the same page and we wouldn't be having this discussion. Only because it was something that resembled a real child enough to be arrested for. And then it delves into racism. Okay, so do I have to bring up how I was basically fucking groomed using these so-called fictional drawings? Do I have to fucking bring that up? Because I feel like I shouldn't have to at this point. And the fact that they are getting surprised that they're getting a reaction like this says a lot about who they are. They're expecting people to agree with their shitty takes, yet when no one does, they act like the innocent victim of a hate mob. They are Octavia shippers, or like the dipshit that shall not be named. And finally, to cap off this depressing tale, there's also something very suspect about, the TheOwlPrincess that they did a couple of months ago. Before I address it, let me state that my friend Russ used to have a Discord server. In the server, which was full of minors, this, let me repeat, 21-year-old role player decided to actively hang around these minors, and to my knowledge, they weren't RPing with these minors or sending good things to them, but they did send Russ a link to their very NSFW Twitter. That is fucked up. So, what should happen now? Well, the TheOwlPrincess should be reported and blocked. As usual, they've shown time and time again that they're untrustworthy. It's a shame that people still follow them regardless of what happened, because that means those people are willing to excuse the heinous actions of this user. It's like fucking Jonachrome. Let me repeat that situation. People are willing to forgive them. They don't even care when they should care, and they shouldn't forgive them. I will also, make it clear that they no longer go by the TheOwlPrincess. I know I mentioned that before, but let me clarify here. They have since snuck their way out of the hell of a fandom, and have now tried to sneak their way into the Beastars fandom by going under the name The Wolf Badass. So if anyone in the Beastars fandom, especially roleplayers, sees them, stay far away, please, for your own sake. This person is known for being toxic as hell, and is simply trying to head into your space to escape the backlash they rightfully deserved. But that about wraps it up for today. What do you guys think of this whole shitty situation? Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you disagree, I'm gonna break your knees because this is a shitty situation. And check out everything in the description. Discord, Twitter, all of the above. This has been Quartza, signing out. Have a good one, lads.